So after the O shot and going through Morpheus 8 treatments, just felt like we back. Like, this is what we do. Like, we make babies. I ended up at SiBelle by the grace of God, because it just so happens that Dr. Carine is actually a friend of mine in real life. We met each other because our husbands were really good friends. Ever since we found each other, we just kind of had like an instant connection. She's down to earth. She's really cool. Obviously, she's an OB, so when I was going through my pregnancy and having my first child, she was checking in on me all the time, asking me questions, being supportive, giving me information about how to advocate for myself, things to be mindful of. Speaking to her about, like, you know, the intimate happenings of my body became very natural because she had a genuine interest in, you know, my health and the development of me and my baby. So I've always spoken to her very candidly about what's going on with my body. On the low, she went and started SiBelle, and none of us even knew that she was building this like amazing refuge for women behind the scenes, but she was. Finally, when SiBelle was up and running, she mentioned it at like a Mother's Day brunch. And we're like, that sounds amazing. I didn't know anything about what a med spa offered. It's a new world to me. So it's not necessarily anything that I personally like saw for myself. But one day I was at her house and naturally we were just talking about what I was going through. At this point, I'm postpartum now. I already had my son. As always, she's asking me, so what's going on with you? Which is a very natural part of our conversation and our flow. So I'm being very honest and I'm telling her what life postpartum has been like for me. A first-time mom at the time. That's when she kind of just leaned in and let me know, like, you know, we could do stuff about those things. And I was like, for real? And she was like, yeah. And that's when she kind of started telling me about the ways in which what the services that she offers at SiBelle could support what I'm going through. I didn't know that. I kind of quietly accepted like that this is the tax of like motherhood. This is what comes with it. This is the price that you pay. This is a sacrifice. You know, you give your body to create a new person, but this is the body that you have to live in moving forward. So there was a part of me that like quietly and almost sadly like accepted it. And then after that conversation, I was like so inspired by the idea that I could feel like rejuvenated again. Having a primary doctor, having an OB, and having an intimate wellness specialist feels like the perfect trifecta. You know, we all know what it's like going to the hospital and navigating the healthcare system. These people don't have a lot of time for you. And you kind of got to be quick and in and out, and it feels very transactional. And when you're with your intimate wellness specialist, there's space. There's space to speak honestly, and there's space to really find the words for what's happening in your body, which doesn't always come easy, especially when you're going through changes that you're still trying to understand, and they're not consistent. They change daily. An intimate wellness specialist is that soft space in between where you can figure out your truth and, most importantly, have that truth held, understood, I guess intellectualized in a way that makes you feel less crazy for going through them. I found my intimate wellness specialist by going to SiBelle, working with Dr. Carine in a completely different capacity, learning about the different type of services that were available to support me and what I was going through in my postpartum journey, and actually going through with them. And then having her support and her continuous conversation and communication throughout the journey and the healing process. Motherhood is beautiful, pregnancy is magical. Postpartum is something else. What I found to be the most disruptive part of that experience that made me really seek out support with SiBelle and Dr. Carine has been just feeling like a stranger in my own body, which felt crazy to me because I've built like a career and really a reputation for being an embodied person because of what I do professionally and artistically, which is being a movement artist, being a yoga teacher, being a dancer, and then to now enter this phase in my life where My body doesn't do what I think it's going to do. My body doesn't do what I expect it to do. My body doesn't do what I've trained it to do. And what that showed up for me, like very specifically, was like incontinence, not feeling aroused, not feeling intimate, not really wanting to be touched. And I'm very touchy-feely. Feeling tired, feeling sluggish, feeling like everything is just too much to bear. Hot flashes, just not feeling supported in my body, feeling just really weak, feeling like I'm schlepping through life. That's what it felt like. I felt like I was moving through life and dragging my body along for the journey. That is really when I realized that, like, okay, if there is a way to solve this, I need to be first in line. I need to be early. I need to be on this. So that's what really inspired me to really, just own up to what I was experiencing, reach out to Carine, and move forward. What has returned to my life since I've invested in postpartum care has been a sense of alignment. It's been a sense of vitality and vibrancy in my body, a sense of trust in my body. That's huge. That's huge. Coming out of labor and birth, while it can be a very magical journey, it can also be, in some circumstances, a very disappointing journey if it didn't play out the way that you envisioned. And my birth definitely, the outcome was exactly what I needed. I'm healthy, my baby's healthy, but the process to get there was like, what are we doing? It was going every direction other than what I expected or planned. It kind of makes you look at your body as if, like, why didn't you show up for me? Like, why didn't you do what I needed you to do? when the time for it to be done was super essential. And I dealt with a lot of that disappointment in my own body. By investing in this care, it's allowed me to really like heal that conversation and not put so much pressure on my body to do what I think my body is designed or supposed to do when it's supposed to do it. Like, it's given me more respect for my body and the fact that my body is working just as hard as me. It's going through a journey, it's going through a healing, and it's going to go through the process that it's supposed to. I can exercise some compassion with myself through the journey. And I think that no longer having to be overwhelmed by all that my body was going through gave me like the space and peace to actually like reflect, because it's really hard to be present when you're in pain. I think just knowing that I feel good intimately and that I feel secure in that way kind of allowed me to also just like check in on, all of the emotional aspects of what also needed healing. The specific treatments that I had at SiBelle were the Morpheus 8 and the O-Shot. I was dealing with incontinence. I also just wasn't really feeling any like sensation during intimacy. Incontinence is when you need to go to the bathroom and you just don't quite make it. That is not something that I really anticipated prior to being pregnant, especially because this is the thing, I didn't birth vaginally. I had a cesarean. So I thought that at least I'd be covered there. But I didn't realize that the weight of carrying a child just throughout the entire pregnancy in itself is putting so much pressure on the pelvic floor that it's also weakening that space. So I didn't realize that that would be something that I would deal with specifically. I'd have to change my undergarments like multiple times throughout the day. And when you have a newborn who like needs you all the time and you're nursing, that doesn't always feel right, and my husband might want to hug and kiss her throughout the day, and I feel gross. What am I going to explain? The reason why I don't want to be touched right now is because like I feel gross because I haven't got the chance to change, because I've been doing this. I've been nursing for the last whatever. So it's a weird space to navigate where you yourself just kind of feel gross, because there's always some kind of like leakage, happening. So that's how I experienced it. It wasn't like a big mess, but it was something that I personally know this is not the way that this is not the most glamorous feeling, Going through those treatments, it took some time because it's a process, but I don't deal with either one of those anymore. I don't. I'm really good. And it's what's really surprising is that I am obviously very pregnant. I birth big, so my babies are big. My last baby was almost 10 pounds. This baby is well on his way. And I still am not dealing with any type of incontinence. And I've been carrying my big baby for going on to 9 months now, and I'm not dealing with any of that. So it's carried me through my postpartum, and it's supporting me through my pregnancy. And I believe it will also do the same thing through my future postpartum. And if things change, I know where to go.